Welcome to Research Business Daily Report, sponsored by the RFL Client Consulting Initiative. I'm Bob Lederer. I'd be lying to assert that I'm any kind of a market research expert. However, I've spoken with enough real masters of the function over the years to know that a quality research project is supposed to contain qualitative that feeds into quantitative research. And that's one reason why Tom Anderson's blog entitled "Almost Half of Market Researchers Are Doing Market Research Wrong" got my attention. It also opened my mind to the real change that seems to be going on between qualitative and quantitative. I learned 25 years ago when I began writing about research that the standard project had separate qualitative and then quantitative components, one feeding into the next. But in the past decade, there have been a handful of new research companies that proposed and actually marketed methodologies that were, in their words, simultaneously qual and quant, a time and a cost saver. Seemed like a great idea, yet I don't know how much that ever caught on. I presume because there were not a lot of copycats that it wasn't a hell-raising idea. Anderson's blog, if I take it at face value, and I have no reason not to, shows me that we've reached perhaps a new plateau, and it still seems to signal a shift towards a combined qual-quant process, but more aptly describing it as a qual-quant mix, and we'll talk about what the difference is shortly. Researchers who are primarily qualitative, Anderson says, are leapfrogging their comfort zone and going directly into quant on the strength of what they seem to believe is sizable volume and depth in their sample. Anderson noted this transition is founded on researchers incorporating larger data sets from communities and billboards, as well as social media projects. Anderson's position is that it would be great if qual continued to be positioned as a way to inform quant. And he says that qual jumpers should be okay in leaping directly into quant under the right conditions, which he defines as where the available sample for a project has at least 150 respondents. And Tom says a number of qual researchers are not meeting that number. In fact, he's actually seen samples of 12 being used. That situation makes it impossible to gain meaningful or statistically reliable findings, much less identifiable patterns. And this may not be a shock or surprise to many of you, but it does seem to signal the possible end of a research era, a kind of break from research norms that would leave the last generation of researchers shaking their heads in disgust, or maybe even worse. I heard their moans, some of them that were spot on, with new rules that were established for internet research. How would they react to this? How quickly and broadly will the idea of saying goodbye to qual-quant combinations in research projects in favor of what some will see as a radical qual-quant mix be accepted, adopted, and standardized? Now, I've still not spoken to a client researcher in over 20 years who bought any suggestion that a serious project could be complete without qualitative findings that fed into quantitative. So these clients may end up being the deciders. Researchers, Anderson believes, need to start thinking about their sample sizes before fielding a project. He says, quote, if they are lucky, they will quickly understand it's not about quant and qual anymore. It's about mixed data, the right data, and sufficient data to generate robust findings. That's your Research Business Daily Report, which has been sponsored today and is this week by RFL Client Consulting, created to assist client market researchers as well as research agencies. It relies on the 25 years of personal experiences we've had in dealing with both of those groups. Now, we could list a number of unique capabilities. However, we also want you to know that we customize each according to a client's needs. So let's have a conversation about how we can help you. Check out RFL Consulting at our corporate website, rflonline.com. You can see my email and my phone number. Let's have a conversation. And another reminder that we've registered with Patreon, which enables you to gain access to RBDR's exclusive community and the perks that go with it. And we want to thank our two newest patrons, Nick Tortorello and Frederick Charles Petit. The Patreon link is in the description box underneath this video, so take a look. Thanks in advance, and have a great research day. We'll see you back here tomorrow.